Coming up on Mountain News this morning, with inaugural celebrations wrapped up, President Donald Trump's first full day in office begins with a set of executive orders. And a community is banding together to support a family that lost someone irreplaceable.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, Mountain family. My name is Amelia Lee on this Tuesday, January 21st. The time, 6 o'clock. It's also time to check on in with meteorologist Megan Dusmal for a look at the forecast this morning. Megan, it is a cold start to the morning, as we have been continually saying. Unfortunately for me, I lost one of my gloves. So if anyone finds a brown glove outside, let me know. I really want it back.
It's okay. I have some spare gloves if you need to borrow some, and some mittens too. I'm not a big fan of mittens. You can have those. But yes, for today, it's definitely cold, and we are not the only ones who are dealing with this cold weather. One look at the U.S. map, and you can see from Seattle, Washington, to even Orlando, it's on the colder side of things. I mean, Orlando's at 47 degrees. I never thought that I would see that. And as you travel towards Memphis, 18. But as you go towards our area, here's what you can expect. We're looking in the single digits for most of us. We're seeing 10 degrees as you're heading towards London and Somerset. And our warmest, well, that's Monticello at 13 degrees. Now, as we go into the afternoon, we will warm up a little bit, seeing the upper teens and low 20s. But the wind is also, unfortunately, picking up, making that wind chill and those feels-like temperatures even more brutal. Now, here's what you can expect on satellite and radar this morning. Looking nice and clear. Definitely a cloudy start to your day. And as we head into the afternoon, we have the slightest chance for some snow. But here's what you can expect for the next 12 hours. Temperatures hovering in the teens, hitting a high around 4 o'clock. Amelia.
All right, Megan, thank you. This morning, President Donald Trump is starting his first full day back in office. There's already fallout after Trump signed a flurry of executive actions on issues like immigration, federal workers, and energy. His first day back in office. The president also issued pardons for roughly 1,500 people in prison on January 6th. Related crimes. CBS News' Jared Hill has more from Washington.
So help me God. And with that, President Donald J. Trump began his second term. In his speech, he vowed to rescue a nation that he described as in decline.
The golden age of America begins right now.
In the midst of the inaugural parade, moved inside a D.C. arena due to frigid temps, and inaugural balls, where he danced with First Lady Melania Trump. The president signed roughly 200 executive orders, rolling back dozens of Biden-era policies in the process, including pulling the U.S. again out of the Paris Climate Agreement. President Trump also offered clemency to all of the nearly 1,500 people charged or convicted in relation to storming the U.S. Capitol on January 6th.
We're going to release our great hostages.
Their supporters demonstrated outside a D.C. jail last night. President Trump is already facing legal challenges over his executive action creating the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, and another that attempts to end birthright citizenship, which is enshrined in the Constitution. Trump also signed an order declaring a national emergency on the southern border and others targeting immigration. Nationwide, cities are already bracing for mass deportations.
People are afraid. People don't want to leave their homes. People don't want to send their kids to school.
Meanwhile, the Senate yesterday approved its first of Trump's cabinet picks, former Florida Senator Marco Rubio, now to be Secretary of State. Jared Hill, CBS News, Washington.
Other executive orders signed by President Trump yesterday include hiring freezes and return to office mandates for federal workers, as well as a delay on implementation of a law effectively banning TikTok if it does not separate from its Chinese-based owner. Immigration tariffs and electric vehicles are all issues that Trump brought up along the campaign trail. That could make an impact here in Kentucky. A report from Kentucky Policy says immigrants make up 5% of Kentucky workers, and immigrant workers and businesses generate $14 billion of economic output in the Commonwealth. President Trump also says he plans to pull the plug on what he calls the EV mandate, which could impact electric vehicle sales. Governor Beshear also says taxes by the first Trump administration resulted in a bourbon tariff, which left millions of dollars of impact on exports.
Every indication I've seen is that if the Trump administration engages in the blanket tariffs that we are at least reading about, that we are likely to get another bourbon tariff.
According to an analyst from the Tax Policy Center, Kentucky could be among the states most impacted by President Trump's proposed tariffs. Vice President J.D. Vance was sworn in using a family Bible that belonged to his maternal great-grandmother from eastern Kentucky. His family roots go back to Breathitt County. His mama, Bonnie, presented the Bible to him in 2003 as he left home for the Marine Corps. Yesterday was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. While some events in our region honoring the civil rights leader were canceled due to weather, hundreds of folks braved the cold to march in Lexington. Organizers say this is one of the longest-running MLK observances in the nation. Marchers say everyone needs to do their part to continue Dr. King's legacy.
We don't want to forget the struggles that people of color, minorities had gone through decades and decades in this country. We talk about inequalities, we talk about systemic issues. So to me, that's what that work still to be done has to do with.
Yesterday's events kicked off with breakfast, followed by a march in downtown Lexington in the afternoon.
We're off to a cold start today, but thankfully we aren't starting to a snowy start. Let's take a look at satellite and radar this morning, and as you can see, really just focusing in on clouds this morning. Now we do have the slightest chance for some snow as we're heading into the afternoon, but I'll touch on that in just a little bit. Now we are under a cold weather alert for today, and all counties lit up in that light cyan color are in a cold weather advisory, meaning those temperatures are just brutal. And looking at those feels like, well, it's no surprise we're mostly in the single digits. And take a look at Lexington. They're at -4 feels like temperatures. So this is what we'll continue to be expecting as we're going through today. And the winds will just be picking up as we're heading into the afternoon. But for the next 12 hours, here's what you can expect in terms of those temperatures. Now this is just the temperatures, not including the feels like. We'll be hitting that high temperature around that 4 o'clock mark in the upper teens and low 20s. So definitely off to a cold day. Amelia.
All right, Megan, thank you. A southern Kentucky community is coming together to raise money for a family that was dealt multiple blows last week. A fire caused major damage to a home in the Ferguson community of Pulaski County. Then on Friday, a 12-year-old hurt in that fire died. WYMT's Phil Pendleton spoke to people trying to help them.
The home on 400 Newton Street in Ferguson still stands, but there is a lot that was lost here.
There might be some things that were salvageable, but you know, all their memories are, pretty much gone.
Fire swept through this home last week. People were rescued, but on Friday, 12-year-old Natalie Stacy died of smoke inhalation. We just have to try to be there, for them. I'm so proud of our community. They have stepped up. And really, gone to bat. There's so many people that are taking up money, donating money for them. Becca Perrin started a GoFundMe. Wings and Rings is donating some of their proceeds Monday night to the family.
Losing a young child is never easy, so our managers here came together and decided that we wanted to put together kind of a donation night.
Natalie Stacy was a 6th grader at Southern Middle School. She's remembered for being kind and compassionate, caring, a friend to all. Her principal says she was looking forward to the spring when she was likely going to try out for the school's softball team. People can also donate money and items at Tri-Generations on Venture Way. As a mom, it breaks my heart for them. She was only 12 years old. She was a joy to be around.
There's not a whole lot that we can do, but just to give them our love and our support, I think that's a big step.
Funeral arrangements for Natalie Stacy will be announced later this week. In Pulaski County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
We have more information on how you can help the family on the WYMT News app and WYMT.com. Well, thank you for joining Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. A new bill proposed this legislative session wants to place more liability on parents for the violent crimes of the child.
Would you buy a life insurance policy if you knew your rate increased every 5 years? What if $9.95 a month bought you less than $1,000 in protection? Sadly, many policies that seniors buy today fail to mention this in their advertisements. You could buy a policy that might not give you enough coverage when you need it most. Call now to receive free information on the Senior Care Plan from Senior Life Insurance Company. The Senior Care Plan guarantees your rates cannot increase. Your benefit will never decrease. There is no medical exam, and you will have lifetime coverage. You could qualify for up to $30,000 in whole life protection, and rates start as low as $5.90 a month. With the Senior Care Plan, your coverage can start immediately, unlike other policies that don't give you full coverage for 2 years. Call now for free information on the Senior Care Plan from Senior Life. By calling now, you lock in the lowest rate possible. You have no obligation. Call now.
It just feels so nice.
My back has been hurting for years.
There are days where I can't actually pick up my children.
My whole life I've struggled with back pain. What's the alternative?
Over 3 million people use Teeter Spine for easy, natural back pain relief.
Want to give this a try? Well, what is it?
But what do first-time users think?
I'll try just about anything.
Step over. Okay. Lean back. Whee!
Oh, that's liberating.
Ah, it feels nice. I really feel it in my lower back. That feels great. Oh, my back is releasing. I'm feeling groovy, actually.
Oh, you're gonna have a hard time getting me out of this.
What makes the Teeter Spine so effective is the gentle stretch. In just a few minutes a day, realign your spine, relax tense muscles, and reduce nerve pressure for natural back pain relief that makes you say,
Wow, that's cool.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, that was amazing.
It's like a fabulous stretch. What are you feeling throughout your body?
My lower back, my lumbar area, it just feels like it's really getting a great stretch that it's never really gotten before, ever.
After just that short time, I feel like my spine is longer and I'm standing straighter. There's a lot less pain in my lower back.
I feel elongated and stretched out and relaxed. It even made my knees feel better.
we've spent over 4 decades perfecting the inversion table. Better security, better rated, better relief. Simply lie back, relax, and let gravity do the work.
It was very easy just by the slightest movements of your arm.